the next stage.
A supposedly safe investment that can be a scam, what restaurants are doing to keep you from cooking at home, and is a shrinking surplus putting Social Security at risk. Hello, I'm Consuelo Mack. We'll have those stories plus the investment pick of the week on this edition of the Wall Street Journal Report.
Republicans and Democrats voted for the lockbox. And here we are, 4 months after the budget passed, doing precisely what we said we didn't want to do.
Remember the so-called Social Security lockbox? Well, it is back in the news again, and some say it's about to be unlocked by a combination of the slowing economy and recent tax cuts. According to the Congressional Budget Office, that combination means the federal government will tap into some of the Social Security fund surpluses this fiscal year and in fiscal year 2003 and 2004. However, even as the surplus shrinks, it is still huge by historical standards, estimated to equal 1.5% of total gross domestic product this year, the second largest amount since 1951. And thanks to the Social Security contributions, the overall budget surplus should remain high throughout the decade. How troubling is the shrinking budget surplus? Is Social Security at risk? Joining us is Jerry Seib. He is Deputy Washington Bureau Chief for the Wall Street Journal. Jerry, nice to see you.
Thank you, Consuelo.
Okay, reality check. The economy is slowing. The administration and Congress together decided to front-end load the tax cut to stimulate it. And as a result, the budget surplus is shrinking more than expected, just like it grew more than expected when the economy was booming. What is the big deal?
Well, the big deal is that what has happened over the summer is that basically about $40 billion of the projected surplus went out for the tax cut, or is going out for the tax cut, and another $40 billion or so in revenue was lost because the economy slowed down, which has left the federal government sort of teetering in a place where it didn't want to be. The Social Security system is still in fine shape. That's been obscured here, I think, somewhat by the rhetoric. It's still running huge surpluses, as you said, $150 billion this year, $175 billion almost next year. The question on the table is whether some small part of that will now have to be used to pay for other government programs, or whether that will be walled off and used in its entirety to pay down government debt, which had been the plan. That's not a big economic matter, and it's not really a threat of any kind to the Social Security system. What it is a big political question, because both sides had indeed, as we were discussing, agreed to leave that money on the table, use it to pay down debt, and not use it to pay for other government programs, to put it in Al Gore's famous lockbox.
Okay, so here we go again with the so-called Social Security lockbox. Refresh our memories. What is it? And what does happen if it is invaded?
Well, it's mostly a bookkeeping device, but it is more than that, I think, probably a political commitment from Congress and the executive branch, both of which agreed over the last year in the Clinton and the Bush administrations to leave the Social Security surplus untouched, use it to pay down debt. The theory behind that is that if you pay down debt, you've reduced the debt load of the country, you've increased national savings, you've left the country in good shape, better shape at least, to pay for the Social Security benefits for baby boomers down the road. It doesn't mean there's money sitting in a bank account somewhere for Social Security, because that's not how Social